The small kindness. The market of Valar Prime was loud with voices, the kind of voices that cared only for profit, trade, and power. Strange colors from alien banners floated in the air. Ships came and went, and the smell of metals, spices, and burned fuel mixed into one strange air. But inside this busy world, one figure did not belong: a human. He sat near a broken wall, his clothes torn from travel, his face tired from hunger and long nights without sleep. The crowd walked past him like he was invisible. In the galaxy, humans were nothing now. Once there were whispers of Earth, but for thousands of years the stars had been silent. The council had erased their name from records, calling them weak, calling them forgotten. Children pointed at him. Merchants pulled their goods away when his shadow came close. A guard snarled, "Don't touch anything, off-worlder. Your kind has no place here." The human lowered his eyes. He had begged before, and begging gave nothing. He knew the rules. Humans were not friends in this galaxy. They were warnings. But then, someone stopped. It was a small alien child with skin that glowed faint blue and large, gentle eyes. She looked at him with curiosity, not hate. She held something in her small hands, a round piece of bread. Her father, tall and tired from work, noticed her, and his eyes widened. "No, child," he whispered harshly, pulling her away. "Do not help him. You know the law. The council forbids it." Yet the child's eyes filled with tears. "But he's hungry." The father looked down at the human. For a moment his heart fought with his fear. Around them others were watching. To help a human was dangerous. The council punished such acts. People whispered, "Why waste food on him? He is a shadow of a dead world." But still, the father knelt. His hand shook as he pushed the bread toward the human. "Take this, eat fast, and go." The human's eyes widened. His lips trembled. It had been days since kindness touched him. He wanted to speak, but no words came. He only whispered, "Thank you." The family hurried away, afraid of punishment. The crowd muttered angrily, some even calling for the guards. But in that small corner of the galaxy, one act of kindness had been made. What no one saw was the small black drone in the sky. It was round, the size of a bird, and invisible to normal eyes. It watched, silent. Its lenses glowed red for a moment as it recorded everything. The child's hand, the father's choice, the bread given, the words spoken. The drone sent the data into the void. It vanished in a flash of stealth light. The human, weak but thankful, chewed the bread slowly. He did not know what had just happened above him. He did not know that far away, deep in the darkness where stars had been silent, a signal had awakened. That night, the alien family returned to their small home on the edge of the city. The mother was angry. "Why did you do it?" she asked her husband. "Do you want the council guards to burn our home? Helping a human is a crime." The father sat in silence. He looked at his daughter, who was asleep in her bed, smiling, her little hands clutching the memory of the bread she gave. "Because," he finally whispered, "if no one shows kindness, then what is left of us?" Outside, the stars flickered. In the high towers of Valar Prime, the council agents spoke. A report was already in their hands. "One of our citizens gave food to the human," a guard hissed. "Should we make an example of them?" The senior officer's eyes were cold. "Yes, kindness to humans cannot be allowed. It brings danger. Prepare the arrest." But in the black sea of space, danger had already arrived. The hidden signal carried by the drone reached its destination. Far beyond the galactic rim, in the silence of dead systems, something moved. A colossal fleet sleeping for centuries opened its eyes. Ships of steel, older than empires, began to stir. Lights flickered across their hulls. The engines rumbled like thunder under the skin of the universe. And at the heart of the fleet, a single voice spoke. A kindness was shown. To one of ours. Earth remembers. The next morning, the human was gone. Some said he left the city. Some said he was taken by shadows. But whispers began to spread. The council is watching. The family will be punished. The father knew it was true. He held his daughter close as soldiers marched in the streets. Neighbors turned their faces away, not daring to look. He thought that no one would save them. But above the planet, hidden in the dark, something vast was already watching. And soon, the stars themselves would shake. Whispers of the past, the news of the small kindness spread faster than fire in dry fields. "In the market," traders whispered. In the alleys, shadows murmured. And in the council chambers, anger grew like a storm. The alien family who had given bread to the human now lived under fear. Neighbors no longer greeted them. Doors closed when they walked past. Mothers pulled children away from their daughter, whispering, "Do not play with her. Her family helped a human." The father tried to stay calm, but soldiers often walked by his door, their armor shining, their eyes full of suspicion. His wife begged him, "Please leave the city. We can hide in the mountains. We can still run." But before he could decide, something strange happened. The forgotten history that night, when the family was silent inside their small home. The human spoke. He sat by the fire, his voice rough, his eyes shadowed with memories. "Do you know," he said slowly, "what your people fear the most about humans?" The father shook his head. "The council says you are dangerous. That is all." The human gave a sad smile. "Not dangerous. They fear our memory. They fear that we never forget." The daughter leaned forward, curious. "But humans are weak. Everyone says that. How could they fear you?" The man's eyes flickered like dying stars. "Because weakness can become strength, and kindness can awaken armies." The family fell silent. His words felt heavy, like truth buried for centuries. The council's warning. The next day, banners of the Galactic Council appeared above the streets. Soldiers gathered in lines, their voices loud, their weapons glowing. A speaker shouted, "Citizens of Valar Prime, hear the law. Any who aid humans will face punishment. Humanity is erased, forgotten, and forbidden. Those who disobey bring danger upon us all." The father gripped his daughter's hand tightly, pulling her close. He could feel eyes watching him from every corner. He knew the warning was meant for him. The human looked up at the banners, his jaw hard. "They silence you because they are afraid of what happens when humans are remembered." The market incident. That evening, guards stormed the marketplace. They dragged a poor merchant into the square. His crime? He had given the human a coat to keep warm. In front of the crowd, the guard struck him down. No trial, no mercy, only fear. The alien child clung to her father. "Why are they so afraid of one man?" she whispered. The father could not answer. But inside, his fear turned into something else. Anger. The signal far above the city, hidden in the black sky, invisible drones circled. They sent signals into the void, each one faster, stronger. And then, something strange happened. The city's communications began to flicker. Merchant ships lost their signals. Lights dimmed. Even the council's banners glitched. One code appeared for a fraction of a second across every screen. "Earth remembers." Panic filled the streets. Citizens shouted, "It's an old Terran code." They said the humans were gone. They said Earth was dead. The council guards silenced them with threats, but the fear had already spread. The humans' words that night, soldiers came to the family's door. "You are accused of helping the human. Step outside." The father stood tall. His wife wept quietly. The daughter hid behind them, trembling. Before the soldiers could drag them away, the human stepped forward. His voice was steady. "You do not understand what you have done. One kindness can change the galaxy. One act can awaken a storm you cannot control." The lead soldier sneered. "You are nothing but dust, human. Earth is nothing but ash." The human's eyes turned cold. "If Earth is ash, then beware the fire it left behind." The awakening in the skies above Valar Prime, something moved. The stars seemed to ripple. Darkness bent, and then with a soundless flash, a shape emerged from hyperspace. Not a small ship, not a merchant vessel, but something larger, something older, its black hull scarred, its cannons sleeping like monsters waiting to roar. A Terran warship. It hung there in silence, its shadow covering the city below. The people fell to their knees, whispering in terror. The soldiers froze, their courage draining away. The father looked up, his breath stolen. His daughter gasped, clutching his arm. The mother cried. The human only whispered 2 words. "They're here." The first response. The warship that appeared above Valar Prime was unlike anything the galaxy had seen for centuries. Its black hull swallowed the starlight. Its silent cannons stretched like the arms of a sleeping giant, and its engines glowed with a strange fire that did not match any known technology. The entire city froze beneath its shadow. No banners marked it. No insignias. Only one thing was clear, this was human. The panic below markets turned to chaos. Aliens screamed, pointing upward. Ships tried to flee the spaceport, but their systems failed one after another. It was as if the Terran vessel was cutting off the planet itself. Council guards, once so proud, trembled. They shouted for control, but their voices shook. Mothers pulled children into homes. Merchants locked their shops. Priests fell to their knees and prayed to forgotten gods, and still the ship did not fire. It only watched. The father gripped his daughter's hand, his heart pounding. "What have we done?" he whispered. His wife could only shake her head, tears running down her face. The human, however, stood tall. His eyes reflected the glow of the Terran vessel above. "This," he whispered, "is the weight of memory. Earth does not forget." The Council's fear far away. In the Galactic Council chambers, the alarm spread instantly. Red lights flashed across command screens. Admirals and lords shouted over each other. How can this be? The Terrans were gone. No. Not gone, silent, waiting. They dare reveal themselves now? Over one human? A transmission appeared on their screens. A voice deep, calm, and terrifying filled the chamber. One of ours was shown kindness. Earth repays all debts. The chamber went silent. Even the boldest leaders could not hide their fear. The message to Valar on the surface of Valar Prime. The massive Terran ship finally spoke. A broadcast reached every home, every market, every chamber. The voice was human, firm, and unshakable. People of Valar Prime, one of your families gave kindness to a human. For that, they are under the protection of Earth. Any harm to them will be seen as harm to all of humanity. The father dropped to his knees. His daughter stared wide-eyed. The mother covered her mouth in shock. Their small act, the bread, the fire, the shelter, was now guarded by something larger than they could imagine. The reaction of the people, some aliens cried out in fear, "The Terrans will destroy us all." Others whispered in awe, "They repay kindness." Who else in the galaxy does that? The poor, the weak, the forgotten, all who had lived under the Council's shadow began to hope. If Earth remembered one kindness, perhaps it would remember them too. But the Council's loyal soldiers felt only dread. They readied their weapons. They surrounded the family's home. The father held his daughter close. "It was only bread," he said in a shaking voice. "How can bread bring fleets from the stars?" The human looked at him and spoke softly, but every word was like thunder, because humanity builds empires on debts, and debts must always be paid. The first clash, a squadron of Council warships jumped into the system, bright banners glowing, weapons locked on the Terran vessel. Their commander's voice shouted across the open channels, "Withdraw at once. This is Council territory. Your species has no rights here." For a long moment there was silence. Then the Terran voice replied, "You mistake us. We are not here to claim territory. We are here to honor kindness. If you interfere, you will learn what silence has hidden." The Council ships opened fire. Beams of light struck the Terran warship, shaking the void with power. The ground below trembled. Citizens screamed. But when the light cleared, the Terran ship stood untouched. Not a single mark. And then its cannons awoke. One by one, Council ships shattered like glass. No wasted shots, no mercy. Only precision. The sky turned into fire. The silence. After, when it was over, the sky above Valar Prime was empty again, except for the single Terran warship, standing like a guardian. The voice spoke once more. "The family who showed kindness will not be touched. The Council must decide if it values peace or war." The transmission ended. The father held his daughter close, still shaking. His wife whispered, "We are doomed or saved." The human only stared at the ship above. "This is only the first response," he said. "Earth does not come with one ship. When the fleets arrive, the galaxy will remember why they silenced us." The galactic tremor, the skies above Valar Prime, never returned to silence. The black Terran warship still hung there, unmoving like a shadow carved into the stars. Its presence alone was a message. But its message did not stay on Valar. It spread. Signals carried the story through trade routes, pirate bands, smugglers, and even Council diplomats. By the end of the first cycle, whispers had reached every corner of the galaxy. A family fed a human, and Earth answered. The rumors spread in the taverns of mining colonies. Captains spoke in hushed voices. "They say the Terrans fired once and destroyed a whole squadron." "No, I heard the Council fired first, but the Terran ship didn't even get scratched." "Lies. Earth is dead. These are ghosts." But no matter how the story twisted, fear grew like a sickness. In the poorest worlds, children began drawing crude images of black ships with red eyes. Priests told their flocks, Kindness is a prayer Earth answers. And in the halls of empires, rulers demanded answers. How could one forgotten world shake the stars with only a single ship? The council's rage in the Galactic Council chamber, chaos reigned. Ambassadors shouted over each other, their voices full of panic. They must be stopped before more appear. If one ship can destroy a squadron, what happens when 10 arrive? Earth was erased. We swore they would never rise again. But one old ambassador, voice low and steady, silenced them. You fools, he whispered. You feared their cruelty. You forgot their memory. But Earth does not forget. And now the galaxy remembers too. The Council ordered more fleets to Valar Prime. But even as orders left their mouths, new reports arrived. Terran ships were appearing in other systems. The expanding shadow on the trade world of Karun. A Terran vessel blocked slavers from selling children. On the prison moon of Tarsk, another warship broke the gates and freed thousands. On the border of the Zenth Empire, a Terran dreadnought appeared without warning, broadcasting a single phrase. We remember who stood with us. We remember who betrayed us. The galaxy trembled. The families burdened back on Valar Prime, the small alien family hid inside their home. Their daughter pressed her face to the window, staring up at the black warship that never left the sky. Why are they protecting us? She asked softly. The father shook his head. Because of what you did. Because you gave bread to a starving man. The mother's hands trembled as she poured water into a cup. We did not mean to start a war. The human finally spoke. His voice was low but carried the weight of centuries. You did not start a war. You reminded Earth why it must return. The choice of the people. Not everyone on Valar Prime was afraid. Some were angry. Crowds gathered in the streets. Earth brings danger to us, they shouted. Throw the human out. Give the family to the Council. But others whispered in defiance. No. If Earth protects kindness, then maybe we should protect them too. The city began to divide, those who feared Earth and those who secretly hoped it was true. That kindness could change the galaxy. The dreadnought at the gates, the Council, desperate to prove its strength, gathered a massive fleet. Hundreds of ships, banners glowing bright, weapons ready. They set their course for the Council's own heart world, preparing for a show of power. But when they reached their gates, something was already waiting. A Terran dreadnought, larger than any ship they had ever built. Its hull stretched for kilometers, covered in scars of ancient wars. The Council fleet froze in place. Their sensors went blind. Their weapons locked themselves without firing. Then, a single Terran transmission filled the void. We repay every kindness. We remember every cruelty. Choose how the galaxy will be remembered. Not a threat. A warning. The tremor in the stars-on world after world, people trembled. But in that trembling was something else too. Hope. If Earth had returned, maybe the forgotten, the oppressed, the silenced were not alone. The galaxy held its breath. And in the silence, Terran fleets continued to arrive. Not as conquerors, not as overlords, but as watchers waiting, reminding every empire, kindness had power, and Earth was its guardian. The debt repaid, the galaxy no longer slept. Every star seemed to flicker with the shadow of black Terran warships. In silence they appeared, in silence they watched, and in silence they changed the balance of power. But on Valar Prime, the small planet where it began, the family who gave bread to a human still lived in fear. Their door shook under angry fists. Their names were cursed in the streets, and soldiers still whispered of punishment. The father sat in silence. I gave him food because he was hungry, he said. But now, the galaxy shakes because of us. The human looked at him, eyes burning with quiet fire. Not because of you, because Earth remembers. The summoning one night, as the city slept under the black silhouette of the Terran ship, a beam of light touched down outside their home. Soldiers fell back in terror, refusing to approach. The beam was not an attack. It was an invitation. The human stood, his hand outstretched. They are calling for you, the father. Mother and their child walked into the light, their steps trembling. In the next instant, they stood not on the dirt streets of their city, but inside the heart of a Terran dreadnought. The throne of Earth. The ship's halls were steel and fire, walls etched with marks of battles long past. But it was not empty. Hundreds of humans stood there, soldiers, engineers, and commanders. Their eyes all turned to the family. At the center of the chamber, a throne of dark iron rose. Upon it sat the Terran commander, his uniform black, his shoulders carrying the weight of centuries. His voice rumbled like the engines of 1,000 warships. You gave bread to one of ours, and in that act you restored something greater than you know. The child, clutching her father's hand, whispered, "We only wanted to help." The commander's hard eyes softened. Kindness is never small. In a galaxy ruled by cruelty, kindness is the strongest weapon, the oath of Earth. The commander stood, his figure towering over them, his voice carrying to every ship, every fleet, every listening world across the stars. Hear this, galaxy, humanity does not forget. One kindness is repaid 1,000-fold. One cruelty will be punished beyond measure. This is Earth's law. Across countless systems, Terran fleets broadcast the same oath. Traitors paused, pirates fell silent, and council chambers shook with fear. The reward, the family who had given bread, were offered a place on Earth itself. They were shown the great hidden cities of humanity, rebuilt stronger than ever, with towers rising into skies lit by warships that stood like guardians. The mother wept at the sight. The father fell to his knees, overwhelmed. The child laughed, running through gardens where alien children and human children played together in peace. Earth did not enslave them. It honored them. It made them symbols of what one act could mean, the Council's desperation. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council demanded answers. They sent fleets. They sent threats. They sent envoys. But every time, Terran ships appeared before them in silence. Every time their weapons failed. Every time the same message returned. We do not seek conquest. We seek memory. Choose your path wisely. And the Council realized with growing horror that no empire could erase humanity again. The final warning on Velar Prime. The people looked to the skies. Some still feared. Others knelt in hope. The Terran dreadnought that had guarded them finally spoke one last time. This was the debt of bread, repaid in full. But remember this, if one kindness can awaken Earth, imagine what one cruelty will bring. The ship vanished into hyperspace, leaving silence behind. The galaxy holds its breath from that day forward. Every alien ruler, every smuggler, every soldier remembered the story. They remembered the family who gave bread. They remembered the Council's cruelty. And above all, they remembered Earth's return. No one dared harm a human again, not because humans were strong alone, but because kindness had called forth the might of an entire world. And somewhere, hidden in the black, Earth's fleets waited, watching, listening, remembering. The stars would never be silent again.